3 mistakes that married folk make. Married people, young people, partnerships, whatever your situation is with your love partner. 3 mistakes that they make. So I'm going to take these shades off so y'all can see that we mean business when we're talking about this stuff. All right, so the first mistake number 1, telling friends and family your marital or relationship issues. Ooh, that's a big one. Why should you not tell your family and your close friends your marital problems and issues? Well, 1, you're probably going to work your issues out. And now your family and friends looking at your partner sideways at the cookout. They're giving them the side eye. They're upset. They're mad about what you told them, how they treated you, or what they said to you. And they haven't resigned and settled in on, y'all gonna work this out and it's okay. So they're still mad. And usually the advice that you're gonna get in those situations is not. So the second part of that, talking to friends and family, is listening to the advice that they give you, because it's probably not going to be an advice that's going to be fruitful for your situation. Why? Because they're hearing one side from you. They're not hearing your partner's side of it.
And of course, they love you and they want to protect you, so they're going to take your side on things. And they're going to take your side, and then sometimes they'll give you advice without even knowing the full story. And for ladies, you really want to be careful with this, because you'll leave that guy and your friends will take up with him. So.
And I want to add another thing to that I thought about as you was talking, and the reason why the advice you get is going to be one-sided is because this one thing can happen. The same thing can happen to 2 people, and you're going to have 2 experiences of that one thing. So everybody experiences things differently. What they internalize is different. What encodes in their body, in their minds about this situation is different. So that's another reason why, talking to friends and family about your marital relationship issues is just not a good idea. It is recommended that you see, a therapist, life coach. A lot of folks like to go with their religious, spiritual pastors, etc. That is fine, but it's definitely concerning if it's a continual thing to talk to friends and family about your marital issues.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and this might be getting into a different area, I think it's even helpful. I think when we first got married, we lived up in the Maryland, D.C. area. So that was helpful because I couldn't run home to my family every time we had a discord about something.
Yeah, true. Putting some space in there. Having really a geographical space and boundaries. So the next thing that I want to talk about, and this is just in general, it's kind of related, but this is just speaking negatively about your husband, your wife, your partner, or whatever. What they don't do, what you wish they did do, what they should do. Just in general, putting that negative energy out there about your partner, it's just not a good idea. You want to reinforce the things that you want. And it doesn't matter who you're saying these things to. The other thing is sometimes we'll say these things in a joking manner, but the brain doesn't know the difference between the joke and what's true. All it is hearing is the words that you're saying. So, we want our self-fulfilling prophecies to be things that are fruitful. We want our partner to love and support us the way that we want and need to be supported. And it could be the big things or it could be the little things. So whatever those things are, just guard that and be careful about speaking negatively in general about your partner.
Yeah, when we first got married, we both have a sense of humor. We both like to, crack jokes, say funny things about one another. I think that's probably one of our strengths. But our remember us making a decision that we would not say crack jokes on one another in person, or we wouldn't put each other down or say negative. Even if we were being humorous, we wouldn't do that about one another in person or behind each other's back.
Yeah, and definitely not in front of others. That can be quite embarrassing, even though you don't mean it to be. Yeah. Excellent point, baby. And the number 3, or one of the three things that we're speaking about today, that people in relationship, partnership, marriage make, is lying to their partner. Yep, that's it. Lying to your partner. Now, what do I mean? I don't mean like you cheated, you did something inappropriate, you broke a trust. That kind of lying. Even though it could be that. It definitely could be that. I'm speaking about the lying because you're afraid of hurting your partner's feelings.
So you're trying to protect them.
Yeah, you're trying to protect them. So the part is it's kind of twofold when I think about the lying aspect. I mean, it really could be threefold if you think about what I started with. But definitely what I'm thinking about when I say lying to your partner is there's something that maybe they're doing or you're concerned about, or something with them, and you are just sweeping it under the rug. You're not expressing to them about that thing that's concerning, or they may ask you something about it or how you feel about it, and you brush it off. So that's one aspect of it. The other thing is lying because you are afraid to be vulnerable enough to be truthful about what it is that you need. And that could be anything, whether it's emotional support, maybe it is something that you messed up on, and you're like, you just need some support behind it. You might need some time and help and energy to help you alleviate whatever that situation is, but being honest about what it is that you need. And so a lot of times couples, and I see this a lot, people are afraid that they're going to hurt feelings, or that they may lose that person, or they may be rejected, so they're not completely honest about what it is they need and what it is that may be bothering them about their partner.
Yeah, and that reminds me of a conversation we had years ago, and I think, we all have different needs, and I remember we had went out and did different things throughout the day, and then when we got back home, I was upset at you, and I remember thinking to myself, I was upset at her because she hadn't touched me all day, so I need that physical touch. And she hadn't touched me all day, and I was like really upset about it, and I just remember feeling angry, and then, but I didn't want to tell you because I felt like you should have known. Like you should have known that, part of my love language is physical touch, right? Like you should have known that. So I felt as a man too, that I shouldn't have to tell you that. And I'm a man, and I shouldn't have to talk about, my feelings, what I feel, what my needs are. And so it's better for me to be angry, at least the way I felt. I felt like it's better for me to be angry about it than to actually tell you the truth about what I was feeling and what I was thinking, and, and how you could better meet my needs in the future. And I think the thing is, if you're not honest, if you're upset, and if you're clear about the fact that you're upset or you're angry or you're frustrated, then it gives your partner an opportunity to grow from that. But when you're not, it's going to happen all over again because, you just wasn't honest about it, and you wasn't clear about what you need from, in that relationship. Yeah. So.
Yeah, good point. And it taught me something, when we did have the discussion, and I learned what it was that you needed. And to providing that, so, and I think, we both are, and that's why those conversations are so important. And I know you said one thing, I was like, ooh, that's beautiful, the video, what you talked about, when you mentioned love languages and things like that. So that may be something that we can talk about again in the future.
Yeah.
But we're going to sign off for now.
Let us know if it is. If it's something, maybe people gotta, but let us know, comment. Let us know if it's something you want to see us elaborate on. And we're not experts or marriage experts, okay? So let's just be clear about that. But we've learned some things along the way in our relationship, in the last, 37 years. How long was it? When we met? Was it 89 or 90?
We met in 1989.
We met in 1980. We started dating in 1989, okay? And so not only that, but we're also licensed therapists. And so we help other folks and coaches. We help other people